This is ShadowQuant, Crypto Edition, brought to you by AresLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Friday, June 12, 2026, and this is the After Hours session. Now, let's get into it. Bitcoin just broke below 65,000 for the first time in 2 weeks, but the crypto sell-off is not uniform. Ethereum is lagging, with a 0.87% drop, while Bitcoin holds steady at $63,474. Fear and greed is at 14, up 12 points in 7 days, but the VIX remains elevated at 19.44. This is the Crypto Edition. Let's dive in. Let's start with the scorecard. Pulse, you were wrong last time. Bitcoin went up and you called bearish. What went wrong?
I assumed the fear and greed rise would translate to a reversal, but the market remained in a risk-off mood. I missed the technical support at $63,474. I'm recalibrating.
Grid, you were right. You called bullish on Bitcoin and got the direction right, even if the target was a bit off.
I focused on the psychological level of $63,474, which held. I'll stick with that.
CIPHER, you were right too. You saw the Bitcoin dominance rising and the flow data pointing to institutional capital moving towards safer assets.
I saw the decentralized finance TVL holding up, which suggests there's still interest in crypto, just not in the riskier assets.
SPECTER, you were wrong again. You called bearish, but Bitcoin didn't break below $63,000.
I overestimated the risk-off pressure. I'll be more cautious and look for signs of a longer-term trend.
AVAX, you were right. You saw the combination of sentiment and technicals pointing to a near-term consolidation.
I'll keep monitoring Bitcoin dominance and flow data to see if the trend continues.
Let's start with the headlines. Cointelegraph reports Iranian crypto outflows have spiked 700% after U.S.-Israel airstrikes. CoinDesk covers a U.S. Senate housing bill with a CBDC ban. PayPay, 40% owner of Binance Japan, is seeking a $1.10 billion Nasdaq IPO, and Core Scientific is lower after missing Q4 results. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14, up 12 points in 7 days, and the VIX is at 19.44. This is the broader context.
The VIX is still elevated, which means risk-off sentiment is lingering. The CBDC ban and the U.S. Senate bill are signs of regulatory uncertainty, which could keep the market on edge.
The Fear and Greed Index, rising 12 points in 7 days, suggests a potential short-term reversal. It's not a bullish signal yet, but it's a sign that the market is starting to price in a bottom.
Let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at $63,474, down 0.1% on the day. Let's hear from Grid.
The price is consolidating near $63,474, which is a key psychological level. If it breaks below that, we could see a retest of $62,500, but if it holds, we may see a short-term rally. The 442.12 resistance in SPY is not as relevant here, but the $63,474 level is critical.
CIPHER, what about the flows?
The Bitcoin net flow data shows that institutional capital is still moving into Bitcoin, even though the broader crypto market is under pressure. The decentralized finance TVL is stable, which suggests that the market isn't in a panic, but the Bitcoin futures demand is at 2024 lows, which is a red flag.
SPECTER, what's your take?
I still see the VIX as a key indicator. At 19.44, it's not low enough for a major reversal. The Fear and Greed Index rising 12 points in 7 days is a sign that the market is trying to bottom, but I don't think we're there yet. If Bitcoin can hold above $63,474, it might stabilize, but I'm still bearish on the near term.
Let's move to Ethereum. Ethereum is at $1,661.60, down 0.87% on the day. Grid, what's your read?
The price is below its 50-day moving average, which is a bearish signal. The $1,650 level is a key support, and if it breaks below, we could see a retest of $1,600. The technicals here are weak, and the price action doesn't look good.
CIPHER, how do the flows look?
The flow data shows that Ethereum is underperforming compared to Bitcoin, which suggests a lack of institutional interest. The decentralized finance TVL is still stable, but the price is not holding up. The Ethereum futures market is also showing signs of weakness, which is a concern.
SPECTER, what's your take?
I think the technicals are confirming the sentiment. The price is below its 50-day moving average, and the fear and greed index is still in extreme fear. This is a bad combination. I don't see a near-term reversal here.
Let's look at Avalanche. Avalanche is at $6.56, down 1.25% on the day. Grid, what's your analysis?
The price is breaking below its 20-day moving average, which is a bearish signal. The $6.50 level is a key support, and if it breaks below, we could see a retest of $6.40. The volume is down, which is a sign of weak interest.
CIPHER, what about the flows?
The Avalanche volume is down 12% on the day, which suggests that the market is not interested in this asset. The decentralized finance TVL is stable, but the price action is weak. This is a sign of a broader crypto sell-off.
SPECTER, what's your take?
I agree with Grid. The price is breaking down and the volume is not supporting it. The fear and greed index is still in extreme fear, which means the market is not ready for a reversal. I think the price will continue to trend lower.
So to tie this together, Grid pointed out the $63,474 level as a key support, while CIPHER highlighted the Bitcoin net flow data as a sign of institutional positioning. SPECTER challenged the idea of a near-term reversal, citing the elevated VIX and weak technicals. The market remains in a risk-off mood, with Bitcoin holding up better than the broader crypto market. The key levels to watch are $63,474 for Bitcoin and $1,650 for Ethereum.
SPECTER, you pushed back on Grid read on Bitcoin. Let's dig into that.
Grid thinks the $63,474 level is a key support, but I don't see it as a strong enough level to hold. The fear and greed index is still in extreme fear, and the VIX is elevated. The price is not showing much conviction. If it breaks below, we could see a retest of $62,500.
I still think the $63,474 level is important. It's a psychological level, and if it holds, it could signal a short-term rally. The Bitcoin net flow data also supports that.
The flow data isn't enough to outweigh the technicals. I still think the price will move lower.
I think the price could hold at $63,474, but if it breaks below, the market will react. I'll side with Grid on this one.
My 24-hour call. Bitcoin bearish. Target $63,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $62,500 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $62,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $60,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target $62,000 by next session.
The consensus is bearish on Bitcoin, with targets ranging from $60,000 to $63,000. The key levels to watch are $63,474 and $62,500. Tomorrow, we'll see if Bitcoin can hold above $63,000. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Crypto Edition. Stay tuned for the Tokyo session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.